now, once again, you see that America is open for business. The numbers are fantastic. The results are really incredible, what's happening. We're being talked about all over the world. One of the big things is our tax cuts. You know, they used to call it tax reform, and for 40 years they couldn't pass anything, and they didn't know why. I said, how is it hard to pass tax cuts? Turned out it was not that hard. It was not easy, but we changed the name. I said, because, you know, being a person that's only been doing this for 2.5 years, I said, don't use the word reform, use the word tax cut. Because when you talk about tax reform, that could mean your taxes are going up, and your taxes went down. They went down a lot. And I always tell the Republican politicians, because the Democrats have a problem. I mean, if you look at your senator, he voted against. Joe, he voted against. No, it was bad. I thought he would be helpful because he talks. Grabs me, I grab him, says hello, I say hello. But he votes against everything, and he voted against our tax cuts, and that was bad. And he also voted against medical help and health care, and that's bad. And we can't have it. So, you know, it's one of those things. And he does other things that I don't like, I'll be honest with you. He does other things. So, you know, you're going to have a chance. You're going to have a chance to get a senator that's going to vote our program, that's going to help you in so many different ways, and you're not getting that help right now. I mean, we didn't get one Democrat vote for tax cuts. And when you think about it, it was more than tax cuts because we got rid of the individual mandate. When you get rid of the individual mandate, that was a disaster. That was the most unpopular aspect of Obamacare. This is where you have the privilege of paying a lot of money in order not to have to pay for health care, right? That's not too good. And we got it out in our tax cut plan. And we also got Anwar, energy, big energy. I'm into the world of energy, as you know. And nobody does it better than you folks. So it's very important to me. But it's really great to be here. We're going to have a discussion on how to get the country moving even more so. You know, you probably saw that for many years, no president wanted to go against China economically, and we're going to do it. We had a trade deficit of almost $500 billion last year with China. And I have great respect for the president of China, President Xi. He's a friend of mine. And I'm a friend of his, and I like him a lot. But he's representing China, and I'm representing the United States of America. And it was time that we did something. We can't continue to have. I spoke with Jim just coming in, and Jim's a great businessman, and he said, "You're right. We can't continue to allow this to happen, where hundreds of billions of dollars is taken out of our country and our system, where if they make a car, they sell it here, it's 2.5% tax. If we make a car and try and get it into China, number one, they won't take it. But if they did, it's 25% tax. So they pay 2.5, we pay 25. They don't even want to take it. That doesn't sound so good. But it's all like that. And we have our intellectual property, and a lot of people don't understand what that means, and it doesn't matter if you understand it or not. You understand the concept of being taken advantage of, and we can't be taken advantage of any longer. So we're at a point where we had to do this. Our economy's strong. Our jobs are great. We're going to come out with numbers on Friday that hopefully are going to be fantastic numbers. Companies are doing really well, and you have to go after the people that aren't treating you right. And in many respects, I think we're going to have a fantastic relationship long-term with China, but we have to get this straightened out. We have to have some balance. And that goes for other countries, and it goes for other places. If you look at the European Union, it's very solidly against us in terms of trade. It's very unfair. Look at a young girl shaking her head. Yes, you know about the European Union? It's like it's almost we can't even do business. They send their cars over here. They send everything over here. They don't want to take our product. So we can't let that happen. Do we agree with that? We can't let that happen. We're working very hard on NAFTA with Mexico and Canada. And, we'll have something, I think, fairly soon. And I told my people, there's like a story, I want it before. We're making a trip next week to Peru, representing all of South America in different places. And it'll be very interesting. But they said, let's have NAFTA before. I said, don't rush it. Take it nice and easy. There's no rush. We get it done right, or we'll terminate. If we don't have it done right, we're going to terminate. When I was running, I said, we'll terminate NAFTA, or we'll renegotiate it. And Mexico's been pretty good. They were very good to us yesterday because, they had the caravan of thousands of people coming up from Honduras. Thousands of people. And we have very weak laws because of the Democrats. And Joe Manchin he's really not helped us on this stuff. So we had very, very weak laws. We have the worst laws. You ever think catch and release, which we're terminating very quickly. We're doing it in pieces. No, it's unbelievable. Think of this. So we have a country where if they step 1 foot, not 2 feet, if 1 foot hits our country, we have to take those people, gently register them, and then release them. Okay? We're going to release them, essentially, in a short period of time. So we release them. And then they're supposed to come back for a court case. We hire more judges. We're trying to hire thousands of judges. No other country in the world does it. We hire judges so that these people will come back. Now, they're on the land. We release them. They go someplace into our country. They're supposed to come back within 2 or 3 years for a court case. But nobody ever comes back. It's bad enough to say, come back in 3 years, but nobody comes back anyway. This is our country. If you have a baby on our land, congratulations. That baby is a United States citizen. We're the only one. Now, Mexico has very tough policies. They can do whatever they want, which is the way it should be, to be honest. You're violating something very sacred. You're violating a border. Canada, very, very tough. Very, very tough. And Canada is very merit-based. You come into Canada, it's got to be based on merit. With us, it's a lottery system. Pick them out, a lottery system. You can imagine what those countries put into the system. They're not putting their good ones. And remember my opening remarks at Trump Tower when I opened. Everybody said, he was so tough. And I used the word rape. And yesterday it came out where this journey coming up, women are raped at levels that nobody's ever seen before. They don't want to mention that. So we have to change our laws. And the Democrats, what they're doing is it's insanity. Nobody understands what's going on. So we have to have strong borders. We're going to have the wall. We've already started building it. We have $1.6 billion. We've started building it and fixing miles and miles of wall that's already up and fence. And we're going to have our wall, and we're going to get it very strongly. The military is going to be building some of it. But we're going to have very strong borders, and we have to change our laws, and we're working on doing that. And believe it or not, if you look in California and you see what's happening, it's an incredible phenomenon because sanctuary cities, it's the worst. It's basically a city to protect a lot of people that are bad people, really bad. You look at Kate Steinle, you look at so many other things that have happened in our country, and they're protected. How about the mayor of Oakland, where she tells 1,000 people to get going, law enforcement's coming to get you. And this was all planned, and many of them scattered. And it was pretty much a failure. To me, that's obstruction of justice. And something should happen there. And it hasn't, and I don't know why it hasn't, but something should happen there. So we're toughening up at the border. We'll be, I think, in great shape over the next 12 months we'll have a lot of things happening. But we cannot let people enter our country. We have no idea who they are, what they do, where they came from. We have no idea what their records are. We don't know if they're murderers, if they're killers, if they're MS-13. We're throwing them out by the hundreds. We've gone into towns in Long Island where we've taken MS-13 and we've actually liberated towns. This is our country, right? I grew up in Long Island, right short of Long Island. And these are great towns. I know every one of them. And they were taken over by thugs, they talk about guns. They didn't want to use guns. They used knives because it's much more painful. where they cut people up because a bullet's too quick. They want to inflict pain on students, on young women, young girls walking home, and their parents never see them again. They're cut up. And this is the kind of stuff and crap that we're allowing in our country. And we can't do it. We can't do it anymore. You have to see, there's some scenes of the ICE people. They're fantastic, and they're tough. And by the way, that's the only thing that these thugs understand. They don't understand, oh, isn't he an intelligent young man? Isn't he wonderful? He studied so hard in school. They only want tough. That's all they understand. And these ICE guys are so much tougher than them. And they're grabbing them by the necks and throwing them into the paddy wagons. And the town, the people are clapping and screaming. Their town's been liberated. It's like it's a war. It's like literally it's a war where your town or your city or your country's been liberated. They're clapping because even the law enforcement, some of it has a hard time. But we have taken out, we're moving hundreds and hundreds. You saw it 2 days ago. We caught 101 of these MS-13 thugs. They're the worst of, I mean, probably the worst of the group. But other gangs, too, come in. You just don't know the names. But the MS-13 seems to be emblematic of evil. And we're getting them out by the hundreds. But they can come back in. They can come back in. It's tougher, but they can come back in. So we're working out systems now, and we called out the National Guard, and, we're doing a real job. But I'll tell you what, the laws of this country have to be strengthened and toughened up because it is crazy. How about that? Catch, that means you catch them. Now you release them. That's what it's called, catch and release. Just think of it. And chain migration, think of that. So you come in, and now you can bring your family. And then you can bring your mother and your father. You can bring your grandmother. You can bring your this. You can bring... We had somebody on the West Side Highway, which I know very well, in Manhattan. He ran over, I think he killed about 8 people. And they never mentioned the 12 people that have been horribly injured. You know, these are not people that have been a little bit hurt. You know, they'll lose legs and arms, and they're destroyed for life. Nobody ever says that. You know, they don't say 12 people were absolutely destroyed. A man goes out to run because he wants to keep himself in shape, and he ends up going home with no leg, no arm, and all he wanted to do is run. It's a beautiful place along the Hudson River. And this guy comes out, and he makes a right turn right where everyone runs. You know, he's on the highway going 50, 60 miles an hour. He just goes, yeah. And he killed 8 people. And injured many, many people. Still in the hospital, some of them. That was months ago. And came in through chain migration. Or he might have also come in through lottery. But he brought a lot of people with him. They say 22 people. 22 people. So this guy, because he's here, now can get the mother and the father and the grandmother and the cousins and the brothers and the sisters and the aunts and the uncles. This is what the Democrats are doing to you. And they like it because they think they're going to vote Democrat. Okay? Believe me, they're doing that for that reason. They're doing it for that reason and other reasons. And other reasons. But they are doing it for that reason because they're not going to be voting with us for the most part. A lot of them aren't going to be voting. A lot of times it doesn't matter because in many places, like California, the same person votes many times. You probably heard about that. They always like to say, oh, that's a conspiracy theory. Not a conspiracy theory, folks. Millions and millions of people. And it's very hard because the state guards their records. They don't want to see it. So we have a lot of things going on, but a lot of things are being straightened out. And I just want to congratulate the state of West Virginia because I am so proud of you. You were with me from day one. From day one. I mean, it was never...